Good evening and welcome to our live coverage of Game 2 of the Best of 3 National Basketball League Grand Final Series. The Adelaide 36ers lead 1-0 after their magnificent win in extra time last week in Brisbane. A win tonight will clinch the title and give the 36ers their 21st consecutive win at Apollo Stadium. Their opponents, the Brisbane Bullets, are the defending NBL champions, and they must win to force a third and deciding final game. Despite last week's loss, the Bullets boast an impressive lineup, and coach Brian Curl is confident his team can level the series 1-all. And the man who'll have possibly the biggest say in that is sensational forward leaping Leroy Loggins. He rebounds, leads the Bullets fast break, and is a great shooter. Last week, after a quiet first half, he hit 30 points in the second, missing just 2 shots. Ronnie the Rat Radcliffe is another exciting player who can shoot a good percentage from outside the three-point line. The Rat Radcliffe is likely to have the added responsibility of containing star 36er Darryl Pearce, a job he did extremely well in the first final. Now with his thoughts on the match, Brisbane coach Brian Curl.
Brian, last week in the first grand final, 4 points up in extra time and you blew it. Can you come back tonight?
I'm sure we're just a little bit undisciplined there in that final few minutes. That we've corrected now and sorted that all out. So yeah, we can come back.
And the big guys probably didn't do the job that you wanted them to last week. Have you worked out a game plan for tonight?
Yes, we have. Yeah.
Is Cal Bruton starting?
No, he's not.
So Cal Bruton came off the bench and did very well. You're being very close-lipped. Can you give us any indications of what's going to happen?
Oh well, Cal's done a great job for us coming off the bench in the last few weeks, and we're sticking with that.
Close-lipped Brian Curl, thank you very much.
Yeah.
The Adelaide 36ers take their name from the year our state was founded, 1836, and they're desperate to win in this, our Jubilee year. They must go into this game as favourites, but they did last year in the final, also against the Bullets, and we all know what happened in that game. Only a win tonight by the 36ers can avenge last year's grand final loss. The home team should win the rebounding duels, and powerful Mark Davis is known as the chairman of the boards for his strength under the basket. Brisbane must try to stop Davis from scoring from offensive rebounds and force him to shoot from outside. Veteran Peter Adelaide is the complete basketballer. He rebounds well, sets a tough screen, is a good shooter and plays tight defence. Adelaide did a fine job last week on Loggins, restricting the champion to just 8 points in the first half before getting into foul trouble. With his comments on tonight's game, West End 36ers coach Ken Cole.
Ken, it's been a great year, but it really doesn't matter. Tonight's the big one.
Well, tonight's the culmination of what's been a superb year, so we just need to nail down one more.
Even though you won in Brisbane last week, did you learn anything from that game?
Yeah, I learned that we can beat them 3 times in a row, and hopefully this will make it 4. We didn't see anything that surprised us, and I think if we just stay with our game plan, we'll be fine.
You went with a successful lineup. Will you go with the same lineup?
Most probably stay the same and just rotate people in and out as freely as we can.
From everyone in South Australia, good luck.
Thanks very much, Andrew.
Well, both coaches are confident of victory. And with so much talent on the floor and so much at stake, it's going to be another magnificent contest. Well, for you home viewers, we're running a special competition tonight. The winner will receive the actual basketball used in tonight's game. Excuse me while I cough. It's autographed by all the players and a double pass to all home games played at Apollo Stadium for the 1987 season. Entry forms appeared in today's edition of the News. The questions are very simple. 1. Who sponsors the West End 36ers? Who top scored for the West End 36ers and with how many points? Excuse me for number 3 while I cough again. The excitement's getting too much. Question 3. Name one of the phrases flashed on your television screen during tonight's telecast. Completed entries must be sent to the following address: the Marketing Department, SA Brewing Company, GPO Box 1472, Adelaide 5001. Well, we'll take a break now and then be back with all the action from Apollo Stadium. Take it over right till the end. I write it, go and write a closer. No.
introduce you, and if you say, and I'll say, Lynn, can they make it 2-0? Just give me 5 words. No, we had it up full blast.
Wound right up.
Yes, thanks, yeah. Are you there, Lou? I've teed up a couple of people for an interview at half-time if you need to fill in a bit of time.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, now, please.
Good evening and welcome once again from the Apollo Stadium for the second of the Wang National Basketball League finals between the West End 36ers and the Brisbane Bullets. The game is just about to get underway. Joining me on the commentary team, former state player Lynn Parnell. Lynn, can the 36ers make it 2-0?
Yes, Andrew, I think they can. I don't believe the Bullets can play as well as they did last week. Certainly there's a lot of improvement from the 36ers. Darryl Pearce couldn't play as bad as he did last week. I don't think Mike Mackay can be constrained as was last week, and I think the big guys will be a real problem for the Bullets. I expect the 36ers by 15.
Also joining us tonight from TVO in Brisbane is Gary Fleet. Gary, what's the feeling been like in Brisbane this past week?
Feeling has been fantastic, although the Brisbane Bullets went down by 3. Most of the people in Brisbane thought that the Bullets should not have lost. Lynn, although you said that the Bullets are going to get beaten tonight, I would beg to differ there. The Bullets have been fired up. They've had an amazing week at training, and I think you're going to see a different Bullets team, and the end result, I hope, will be different as well.
Okay, the game's about to start. Your commentator is Lynn Parnell.
So in the jump we see Mark Davis, number 33 for the West End 36ers in the white uniform. Larry Senstock, an Australian great, played a lot of games for Australia. As referee Ray Hunt throws up the ball for the tip. And it's the 36ers who come away with the ball. And it's the mean machine, Al Green, number 15, as the 36ers run into offence. Peter Aylai. Al Green inside again as the turnover as the Rat comes away with the ball. And Ronnie the Rat runs a fast break. The Bullets are really looking to go to that basket. And Larry Senstock scores first blood, so it's 2 points, and the Brisbanes are extending the defence, Andrew.
Yeah, Brisbane really have nothing to lose tonight. They have to go for broke, because if they lose this game, the season is over. As BJ, Bill Jones, makes it. That's the first score for the West End 36ers. The score is 2-all. Gary, the atmosphere at Burndall last week was electric, but it's not bad here either.
It's great here, despite the fact that the crowd isn't as large. The fact that the stadium is chock-a-block adds to the atmosphere. And what a wonderful atmosphere here tonight. And I'm sure that the crowd here is going to see an absolutely wonderful game of basketball.
I'm sure you're right there as Dave Nelson scores an easy basket through the Bullets.
And Dave Nelson came off the bench last week, did extremely well, Andrew. I expect him to have a very significant influence on this game. As inside, and that's what the 36ers have to do, as Mark Davis makes the basket and will get the charity foul.
Well, that's going to be the problem for Brisbane all night. They've got to hold the tough guys from the West End 36ers. Look at the bodywork there from Mark Davis. The hands go up from Nelson. He gets in the way. Davis over the top, scored and takes a bonus shot.
That's the strength of the 36ers, Andrew. They've got to throw the ball inside. There's not a great deal of talent for the Brisbane Bullets inside. Larry Senstock, of course, is a champion, but his compatriots in the front court lack his ability, and Mark Davis and Bill Jones are outstanding athletes, and I can't see the Bullets holding those two men all night.
Gary, once again it looks like Peter Alloy's got the job of guarding Leroy Loggins, and did a fine job in the first half last week, and then Leroy really came alive.
Well, let's see what happens here. There's the first foul called, and Leroy's going to the line, and he'll shoot too.
There's the ball. Up goes the hand. Well, the referee was closer than we were. He's called the hands foul. Peter Aylai thought he was on the ball. Loggins said yes, it was definitely a foul. It was before the shot, so the ball's inbounded from outside, but Loggins goes all the way, and Eddie Crouch calls another foul.
And this time Leroy will go to the line and shoot too. I think the Bullets need to go inside fairly early on in the game to put some pressure on the 36ers big guys. If they don't put pressure on early on, guys like Jones and Davis are going to have it all their own way, and the 36ers are going to do very well tonight. Let's see what Leroy Loggins does.
Just listen to the noise from this capacity house here at Apollo. You could not get one more person in here. The game's been a sellout a half an hour after tickets went on sale. Leroy Loggins makes 2 from the foul line. Radcliffe up on Green. Al Green will bring the ball down for the 36ers. Leroy Loggins gets his hand to the ball. Can't quite complete the steal. Pearce going to go for a long shot. Loggins again gets his hand to the ball. And Brisbane really hustling early on, Lynn.
Yeah, good defence by the Bullets. They're really overplaying the offence. Great block there by Leroy Loggins. That's going to put a little bit of pressure on the Iceman, Darryl Pearce. Al Green being hotly pressed there by the Radcliffe. And I think the Bullets have really come out fired up. They're looking very good in defence.
Yes, well, the Bullets know that they've got to put the pressure on and put it on early. And they've got to look good. And they're doing that. And I think they're getting their hands to the ball. They're not making it easy for the 36ers. And I think that the thousands of fans here at the Apollo Stadium could see an end result that they're not really expecting.
There's certainly been a great opening. A fierce opening by both sides as Al Green will go all the way to the basket, goes for the hook shot, and who with the foul called on?
That's a bad call, Andrew. That is a bad call. Look at Green, drives all the way down to the basket, and number 25, Chris McGraw, comes across. Up goes the man, and McGraw was moving to the side as Green went all the way to the bucket.
So early on, the 36ers in a bit of foul trouble. Peter Alloy has 2, Al Green 1. Alloy, as we said, got fouled off early in the game last week. The Senstock and Davis, and here comes a fast break. Will Green go all the way against Ronnie the Rat? Double spin, lovely pass to Peter Alloy. What a play! Fantastic play from the 36ers. Oh, that was superb. Look at this pass from Al Green. Comes in, he spins once, twice, sees Alloy on the other side, and Peter Alloy makes the easiest of baskets and has the foul called on him, and Peter Alloy go to the foul line. Not bad stuff, Gary.
Great basketball from the 36ers, and that's the kind of game that we expect them to play, and Brian Curl has made provision for that. I think you're seeing a different Brisbane Bullets team tonight, though, and already the pressure is on the 36ers. The Bullets have everything to lose by losing this game. They need to win to stay with the action.
So the 36ers in a good man-to-man defence, keeping the Bullets outside. Radcliffe goes all the way. There's a handoff to McGraw, who leans in, throws up a bad shot under pressure. Good defence from Bill Jones, and Jones pulls down a rebound. And all season, Andrew, Bill Jones, the captain of the 36ers, is led by example.
Oh, led like a captain should, as Davis goes for the drive. Tap-in attempted. The rebound will come out to Alloy. Bill Jones has been a tremendous player, and look at the work again from Mark Davis. No foul call in the basket. Yes. 2 points to Mark Davis, but he's hurt himself. He's hurt himself badly. You see the strong work again from Davis. He goes up, but you'll notice he comes down now, and right on the elbow. He's still on the ground, and Mark Davis is in trouble. He's grabbing that left arm.
Well, I think Chris McGraw was in good position then. And I think, although the first time, Lynn, you thought the foul went the wrong way, I was surprised that time that the foul was not called.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, though, whilst it was good defensive position, he posted up well. He was looking for the charge foul, and I think you find that, like all of us that have been in that position, as soon as you think there's any chance of a contact, you fall over and live in hope that the foul will be called. Good defence, Chris McGraw. He looked for the foul. It wasn't there. But the man of the moment, of course, is Mark Davis. He is the backbone of the 36ers side under the boards, and he is hurt.
Well, the score at the moment is 9-6 in favour of the West End 36ers. We'll be back straight after the break.
personal.
Back live at the Apollo Stadium, the news from here during the break as Leroy Loggins scores again. That's 4 points to Brisbane while we were in the break. Adelaide has scored 2. The score, the West End 36ers 11, lead Brisbane on 10. Lynn Parnell.
There's Chris McGraw inside trying to rough up the players. He's doing quite a good job. He's switching off on the defence, looking for the drives. They're overplaying Daryl Pearce very much on his right-hand side. Pearce has taken one drive. Chris McGraw fell over again. There was no foul called. Pearce did pick up another charging foul, and Chris McGraw, as I speak, has picked up a foul.
So there's the heavy work done there by McGraw, and there goes the push as he goes up for the rebound. Davis is that pushed out of play. So it'll be a West End 36ers ball from the side, and Gary, Brisbane really are roughing it up a bit.
Yeah, and they've made 3 substitutions. Robert Sibley is in, Cal Bruton is in, and John Dorge is in. So pressure from the Brisbane Bullets early on. They can't afford to allow the 36ers to shoot from outside like that, and it's Cal Bruton that has the ball at the moment, and the magic of Cal Bruton making itself felt immediately in the game.
The 36ers are letting Brisbane off the hook at the moment because Daryl Pearce hasn't been hitting his shots. Now we have an interesting foul call here. I'm not sure who it's called on as Leroy Loggins drove to the basket. It's been called on Al Green. The Bullets will take it from the sideline. No, the refs can't make up their mind.
Len, are you surprised that the 36ers aren't shooting outside as well as they have done in earlier games throughout the season?
Yeah, it's very good defence though by the Bullets. They're overplaying Pearce dramatically on his right-hand side. You'll notice when you come down the floor again that there's a very big gap, a drive to the basket for Pearce on his left hand if he wants it. He's not taking it. They're looking to throw it over, but they're also looking to use the big guys inside, Davis and Jones, and that has been the strength. The 36ers aren't taking the shots from outside, but we're not converting from inside either.
Here's John Dorge for the Brisbane Bullets.
And another foul call, this time on Robert Sibley.
Yeah, and it was a pretty silly foul.
Yeah, it was a fairly silly foul. A straightforward rebound was taken by Daryl Pearce, and Sibley just creamed him from behind. And so now Brisbane getting into a little bit of foul trouble, but not too much. We see McGraw on 2 fouls, Nelson and Sibley on 1 each as Pearce again misses. Ray Wood attacking, what a tapping for the smallest man on the court. What a magnificent effort from Raymond Wood.
Last week, 201 games tonight. The most experienced man in the NBL has come onto the floor, wasn't blocked out, ran in and tipped the ball in. As Larry Senstock under a lot of pressure there, as Calvin Bruton shoots from outside, it's a 3-pointer. So the score is 13 points all with 6 minutes remaining in this first quarter.
What a wonderful game of basketball we've got here. Fantastic. Holding foul on John Dorge. He's been in the action. He's only been on the court a minute. Let's look at it in replay.
You'll see John Dorge move with Bill Jones. He never really gets to plant those big feet of his on the ground, and he moved with Jones all the way, and that means the foul is on John Dorge.
And Bill Jones on the foul line has been shooting 60% from the foul line as an average all season. Let's see what he can do tonight.
Well, the remainder of the population of Adelaide that's not crammed into the Apollo Stadium tonight, watching the action live. And John Dorge with a very easy rebound. Nobody moved.
So once again it's Brisbane in attack. The Black Pearl, Cal Bruton with the ball, guarded by Ray Wood. No one in the NBL has played more games than Ray Wood. Mind you, Cal Bruton on his own, a great player. Should be a foul on George, should be 2 fouls, neither called.
What a superb rebound, but what a beautiful player Calvin Bruton is. He's just a complete basketball player, great shooter, and good defence by Raymond Wood. And I'm looking for a magnificent contest between these two players, as a travel is being called by referee Eddie Crouch.
It's a very quick call there. You'll see the rebound hits the ring. Bill Jones grabs it, slips there, had the bounce, couldn't be a travel. Bad call by the ref, but then it's a hell of a game to have to umpire in. Unbelievable pressure out there. Bruton misses the shot, and again Daryl Pearce pulls off a rebound. This game at a frightening pace, Gary.
It's frenetic, and the Bullets are putting the pressure on inside, but what's happening? The Adelaide 36ers is scoring from the outside. Certainly great action. Scoreline reads Adelaide 36ers 16, Brisbane Bullets 13.
And that's what Brisbane don't want to see, is Daryl Pearce get his eye in, because he's the hottest three-point shooter in the country. But the action with Brisbane, Larry Sengstock, the captain, and a lovely shot from Sengstock.
And the 36ers dominating the rebounding duels to date. 36ers have pulled down 9 rebounds to the Brisbane Bullets 3 as Raymond Wood sets the offensive movement up for the 36ers. Interesting contest. Al Green is now guarding Leroy Loggins as Daryl Pearce fires up a three-pointer. Almost pulled in by Mark Davis, but it's Calvin Bruton, and he's hotly guarded there by Raymond Wood.
And the crowd goes berserk as Leroy Loggins bounced the ball with a foot in either half of the court. Referees chose to ignore it. So Brisbane scores 1 point apiece. Brisbane 17 lead the West End 36ers on 16.
And the Bullets are shooting 50% from the floor, the 36ers 44%. As this Brisbane defence is working overtime. I think the Brisbane defence is doing an excellent job, Andrew.
Yes, I think they've done a superb job so far as Davis. Again, he's pushed all the way by Sibley. Pearce gets in, gets a pass to Green. The defence working overtime for Brisbane. Sengstock there, left all on his own to take an easy rebound. And Cal Bruton, the playmaker for Brisbane, will be left to set it all up again. So far, Gary, we haven't seen a whole lot from Leroy Loggins.
Not as yet, but remember in the second half of last week's game, he was just absolutely dynamite. Remember also in last year's grand final, it was touted as the best defensive team against the best offensive team, and I think we're seeing that here tonight. The Brisbane Bullets have come out and they're really putting the pressure on in defence, and the Adelaide 36ers all of a sudden have decided that perhaps not everything is going according to plan. Scoreline 17-16 to the Bullets. They lead by just a point. Pressure stuff.
Another substitution made by Brisbane during that call. Larry Sengstock, their captain, has taken a break. Ronnie the Rat Radcliffe is back on as the first of the foul shots missed by Robert Sibley.
Unbelievable that players in this league should miss free throws.
Yes, but mind you, there is 3,500 people here, and he's missed 2, but an easy rebound by Dorge. Foul called on John Dorge. He doesn't like it. The crowd loves it.
That's 2 fouls on Dorge. And Calvin Bruton pulls Dorge away and says, don't argue with the referee. As the shot goes up, there's Dorge, a hand in the back. And Dorge with the rebound. The basket goes through the hoop, but the referee says no score. They're in bonus situation, so Bill Jones has the opportunity from the foul line. Missed on the last occasion. He has the opportunity to score for the 36ers.
There's the shot. It drops. Scoreline reads 17 apiece.
Still 3.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, and what an exciting quarter of basketball it's been as Bill Jones misses the second. Blocked out by the rebound by Sibley, and it's taken by Dorge. Now it's Ronnie Radcliffe with the ball, guarded by Daryl Pearce every which way. A brilliant shooter, Ronnie Radcliffe, as he showed at Boondall last week. Now Robert Sibley, Dorge calling for it. He certainly wouldn't shoot from that far, but this man would, Cal Bruton, and does it beautifully. An amazing player, Cal Bruton. In the Australian side now, been a naturalised Australian for quite some time.
And an interesting battle there. Al Green is playing Leroy Loggins in front. Al Green doing a really good job on defence. Loggins is not getting the ball as Bill Jones puts up the shot. And the Bullets are blocking out their men now. And suddenly we see the Bullets start to dominate the defensive rebounds as Loggins goes all the way, and the foul is called.
The foul had to be called on Bill Jones there. He just couldn't keep. You watch Leroy hop, and all of a sudden he's off again, and Bill's moving with him, but Leroy takes that little feint, across come the hands, slap onto Loggins. Loggins is on the foul line, and the foul is on Bill Jones, the captain of the home side.
Well, Cal Bruton is on earlier in the game tonight than last week, and already he's had a great bearing on the game. The first bucket drops from Leroy. Bullets lead 21-17. There's 2 minutes and 47 seconds left in the first quarter. What a game of basketball.
Been a tremendous game so far. Fantastic pressure as Brisbane again push up that defence. Adelaide is about to make a substitution. Dwayne Nelson will be coming on. But it's Al Green about to lose the ball, does lose the ball. Violation on Radcliffe, not called. So perhaps he didn't get his foot on that ball. Lovely pass into Loggins. Tapped away by Bill Jones, but the basket counts. Jones hates the call, but the referee was right there to make the call. The ball, if you follow this ball now, the pass comes in from Radcliffe, a perfect pass. Now Jones is just running in. What Bill Jones does is he taps the ball as it's on its way down. I wonder whether it was on its way down. I'm not so sure. The referee ruled it was, and that means that counts. 2 points to Brisbane.
What wonderful pressure underneath from the Brisbane Bullets. They know that if they don't put the pressure on the 36ers big guys, reject John Dodge! And it's 3-on-1. Bullets should score. Easy bucket. Ron Radcliffe. 26 plays 17 in the last couple of minutes. The Bullets have gone away with it, and they're doing the job on the Adelaide 36ers. The question is, Lynn, can they continue to do so?
Certainly this defence is fantastic. I've got to say the Bullets are really fired up. Their defence doing a great job. There's a foul's been called there on Robert Sibley.
No, on Mark Davis.
I can't believe that call.
Well, I thought it was 50% of one and half of the other. They were just doing a bit of normal pushing and shoving under the key. But the foul has been called on Mark Davis, and that's something Ken Cole's going to have to live with. He's called a timeout, and the 36ers in a little bit of trouble. They trail by 9, but don't write them off yet. They're a mighty side. They haven't been beaten at Apollo all year for something like 18 months. Coley giving his players instructions. Let's have a listen.
You've got to hustle the ball down, and you've got to run your offense hard. Billy can post his man up low in there, and we can put the ball in as often as we like, but we must run our stuff hard. We're out of balance. We're throwing it off, and we're taking bad stuff. Let's just see if we can get ourselves 2 or 3 buckets back before this break. You've got to play defence hard and go to the board. You've got to get the ball inbounds hard into Al's hands. You've got to push it down. You've got to run it and be prepared to move the ball on 2 or 3 quick movements, turnover movements to get the good shot. Concentrate now, okay? Right now. Come on, let's go.
So Ken Cole just asking his players to do what they've been doing so well all year, and that's just play their normal stuff. Take the time. They've got the shooters to make the shots. They've got the big men who can make them inside. But at this stage, the Brisbane Bullets have skipped away to a 9-point lead. They lead 26-17 in a fierce opening.
And what is impressive about this at the moment is that Larry Sandstock and Dave Nelson are on the bench.
Coach Ken Cole at that stage was pointing out that they're shooting a very bad percentage from outside. The 36ers only shooting 33%. The Bullets are shooting 64% from the floor. And Coach Ken Cole saying, throw the ball inside to the big guys, Mark Davis, and they'll be able to get a good percentage shot because the big guys from Brisbane shouldn't be able to stay with it.
What a hook shot from Leroy Loggins. He put the first shot up and had that taken away. He got his own rebound of sorts and then put out a remarkable jumper.
That's 10 points to Leroy Loggins.
The ball with the West End 36ers. It'll be Dale Pearce makes it. Good shot, but only a 2-pointer. The crowd believe it's 3, but the umpire signaled 2. To wait on the scoreboard. The score is 28-20. Ronnie Radcliffe with the ball, guarded by Dale Pearce. Leroy comes out, says, where's the foul, ref? The crowd tell him to get on with the game. He gives it back to Dodge. Now Radcliffe. He's got Pearce. Puts up the shot, misses. And the 36ers sit there and wait while Leroy just picks it off. Ronnie Radcliffe limping.
Pressure stuff. Great pass to John Dodge, who didn't see it coming. Radcliffe from outside the 3-point line. Mark that down, 3 points. Scoreline, 31 to the Bullets, 20 to the Adelaide 36ers. 34 seconds left in the first quarter.
So defence has been extended all the way down the floor by the Bullets. Less than 30 seconds remaining as Al Green brings the ball down the floor for the 36ers as Darryl Pearce overplayed on his right-hand side again. He still takes that right-hand side drive, forces the ball inside to Jones, underneath, but 3 seconds has been called. I can't understand why Darryl Pearce doesn't use his left hand and go towards the bucket when he's being overplayed so far on the right-hand side.
12 seconds left in the first quarter. The Bullets lead the Adelaide 36ers 31-20.
So the Bullets will look for one more shot before quarter time. It'll come from Cal Bruton. Looks good, misses, hits the rim. Tap in attempted by Sibley, but the rebound to Mark Davis. It's quarter time, and what an amazing quarter by the Brisbane Bullets. They lead 31 points to the West End 36ers on 20, and we'll be back with the action straight after this break.
2 minutes.
Welcome back to the Apollo Stadium for the start of the second quarter. Neither side has scored. The shot is put up by Larry Sengstock, and the Brisbane Bullets, after a brilliant opening lead, 31-20. Your commentator, Lynn Parnell.
And Dwayne Nelson has come onto the floor for the 36ers. Certainly the Sixers have been unsettled by this magnificent Brisbane defence. The 36ers overpowered actually by the Brisbane defence. They've done it well, but Al Green, he makes a very good basket, the first score of this second quarter, and he makes his first 2 points. And it's not very often that we see one quarter of basketball where Al Green doesn't score, although he was contained very well last week in Brisbane, Andrew.
Yes, he certainly was. And Gary, I believe, Larry Sengstock makes a lovely shot. I believe Ken Cole has brought in Dwayne Nelson just to give the 36ers a bit more muscle inside, because they're getting pushed around by the Bullets' big guys.
Well, I think Ken Cole would have been surprised that this has happened, and he won't be happy about having to do it, but I think, as you say, Andrew, he's done it, and it's probably a good move.
That's a three-pointer from Darryl Pearce, and wasn't it a beauty? A beautiful screen set by Mark Davis. He ran Radcliffe straight into it, got nicely balanced and put it away for three.
And the Iceman has made three three-point shots for his 9 points.
And a very ordinary call there by the ref, Eddie Crouch. It's called on Mark Davis, and that is trouble for the 36ers. It really was only Cal Bruton and Davis going for the same ball, but Davis, I suppose, did get into the back of Bruton as the pass comes across to Leroy, so the foul called on Davis. Travel called on Leroy Loggins. The crowd love it. You wouldn't see that too often, Gary.
Sorry?
You wouldn't see a foul travel called on Leroy too often.
And not one that the refs call.
Back with the 36ers. Dwayne Nelson on the foul line. Has room.
He travelled as well. No, 3-second call as well.
So
it's amazing the number of times in a game of basketball that the travel call is missed by the referees.
Yes, I think they're so keen on watching the ball. They don't watch the feet too often, but we've seen two tonight. I don't think we saw one in Brisbane last week.
Interesting stats for the quarter-time break as Loggins throws up a basket and a good rebound by Davis. 36ers are shooting 36% from the floor. The Bullets 59% from the floor, so that's a big margin in favour of the Bullets. Rebounds, that's 10-7 in favour of the 36ers.
Foul called on Larry Sengstock. As Bill Jones was backing back into him, Sengstock got the body up and was pushing out. It'll be a 36ers ball from the side. Brisbane lead 33-25. The ball with Mark Davis.
And 36ers certainly not looking very confident with their ball handling in the front court. I think everybody sort of sitting back waiting for something to happen as Al Green forces up a shot, probably a shot that shouldn't have been taken, and Mark Davis mixes a sitter. Now he wouldn't miss one of those in a million years, but we saw, as we see another turnover, Larry Sengstock did the same thing last week, so there's a lot of pressure basketball out there as Darryl Pearce hits his fourth three-pointer, take him along to 12 points. The 36ers along to 28, and they're now trailing by only 5 points, 33 to the Brisbane Bullets, and they've got the ball in the front court.
And Gary Pearce has dragged the home side back into this game early in the second quarter.
Well, the Bullets led by 11 at the quarter-time mark, and as you just said, it's now down to 5 points, and all of a sudden the 36ers are back into the game, and it's through that man, Darryl Pearce.
And you cannot hear yourself think here, as Brian Curl has done the obvious. He had to do something to stop this West End 36ers onslaught. He's called a timeout, and we need a break here, and we'll be back right after it. Back live at the Apollo Stadium for 10's exclusive coverage of the Wang Second National Basketball League Grand Final between the West End 36ers and the Brisbane Bullets. Well, Brian Curl's timeout worked wonders for the Bullets. They made a substitution. Dave Nelson came back onto the court and he has scored the only basket so far. Now we see Cal Bruton on the foul line. Brisbane stripped away again to a 5-point lead. They lead 35-30.
And Bruton normally shoots 81% from the foul line, makes no mistake, and the Bullets defence is pressuring right up the court. It's a full court defence, and the two guards for the 36ers, Darryl Pearce and Al Green, don't like the pressure. There was a turnover a few minutes ago that gave the Bullets the opportunity. So the 36ers got back to 3 points. It's blown out to 7 again as the 36ers run down the floor into offence.
Well, Gary, I said after last week's game, I honestly didn't believe that the 36ers, or rather the Bullets, could play any better, but I think they are playing better tonight so far, what we've seen in this first half.
Absolutely right. I think too that the 36ers are playing better outside, so that balances that out, and we've got another great game of basketball. Scoreline 37 to the Bullets, 33 to the 36ers.
Yeah, just on that point, Gary, for the first time there we saw Darryl Pearce goes to his left-hand side. He's been greatly overplayed on his right hand by the Rat Radcliffe, and Ronnie's doing a terrific job, but for the first time we see Pearce go to his left-hand side and make the basket. So that'll probably force Radcliffe to play a bit more honest defence.
Amazing atmosphere at the Apollo Stadium. Leroy Loggins misses with the shot. The rebound picked off by Bill Jones. But it's now with Darryl Pearce, the man who has been in great touch. What a pass to Davis. 2 points. Mark it down to Darryl Pearce, even though Mark Davis put it in the basket. That's the best pass of the night.
And that's 2 points to Darryl Pearce, really. Look at that. Beautiful pass. Davis does well. Takes the dribble to get balance. Up. Nice little basket off the glass. And that takes Mark Davis along to 7 points. But it's the Bullets with Calvin Bruton. He fires up one from outside and it's good. So once again there's a 4-point leeway in favour of the Bullets, but certainly in this last few minutes the 36ers are starting to look a lot better in their offensive movement.
Gary, Brian Curl would have to be happy with Brisbane so far as Pearce misses that one. Tap-in attempt missed by Davis. Grabbed by Al Green.
Well, the Adelaide 36ers in the last couple of minutes have come back, and they've come back super strong. And there's a foul called on Leroy Loggins.
Now, Gary, from a Brisbaneite, I reckon that was the 4th foul that they eventually called.
Let's look at it.
Look at the hands
replay
from Bruton, and finally Leroy comes in. Your honest opinion, Gary?
I don't think my microphone is switched on, Andrew.
But those hand fouls must happen underneath the basket, Gary. It happens at both ends of the floor. It was a good rebound there by Dwayne Nelson. He threw the basket up. Back came the man on the foul line now in Mark Davis. And when the people are going for the basket like that, the defence is so enthusiastic. They're trying to get a hand on the ball, and those hands fouls will happen.
Davis drops the second one. The scores are 39-36. Brisbane leading. It's Cal Bruton versus Ray Wood. Bruton with the ball. The Black Pearl, first year in the Australian team this year, dribbling all around, gets right in, pops it up and makes it. Good play from Cal Bruton for a man so short in this game that is dominated by big men. He really does have amazing ball skills.
Great offensive movement there for Calvin Bruton, because Raymond Wood, the man on defence, did everything right. There's a pass underneath if he wants it, and Mark Davis goes down for the second time. 2 strong points there to Mark Davis.
Listen, the Bullets are getting under Davis as he gets up in the air, because he really does get up. And then once he's up there, he really has nowhere to come out under if his back is put out. Pearce almost the steal, but it comes back to Brisbane. Leroy Loggins, pass to Danny Morsue. Good basket, no. Tough rebound, Bill Jones. Now the 36 in again. This crowd here, absolutely loving it.
Well, I wonder about Danny Morsue. I think in last week's game, Danny Morsue put up a couple of shots that perhaps he shouldn't have. It may have cost the Bullets the game. And he'll need to lift his game so high tonight to help the Bullets.
Basket made by Dwayne Nelson, his first score for the night.
And Danny Morsue has been a great player in the past, Gary. In fact, he's been a superb player for Australia. He's looking a little bit overweight now, and perhaps the game might have passed him by a little bit. He's certainly not the dominant force in basketball that he used to be, but certainly he's a very valuable player in this Bullets team.
Brisbane keeping that 3-point lead. It's 43-40. The foul is called on Danny Morsue, and the rest of you can lip read his answer. You'll see here, Ray Wood has the ball. and he's just looking to set. Bang, there goes Morsu into the back of Pearce. Foul called.
I think Danny's a little frustrated.
Yeah, I think that's the sort of thing that happens when you lose that half a yard, Gary.
Foul called on Cal Bruton. And an obvious foul. Ray Wood just tried to break away from him. And that man there, number 5, the man they call the Black Pearl, and he's about to get another one if he's not careful.
Yeah, good movement there by Raymond Wood. He just walked Calvin into that screen, stepped out nicely to see the pass. Good work without the ball.
Tough stuff under the basket. It's Pearce. Lovely drive, misses. Rebound by Morsu. 3-on-1. Brisbane should score. Long shot by Cal. Makes amends. Never ever should have taken the long shot, even though he is an excellent three-point shooter. He had Loggins underneath the basket, chose to go it alone.
And Bruton certainly picked up this quarter by the scruff of his neck. He scored 16 points, 11 of which has come from this quarter. And another beautiful handoff by Daryl Pearce, another assist, and Bill Jones slam dunks. And that hurts a team on defense. Just have a look at this lovely pass, throws the feint underneath, and Jones slam-o. And don't the crowd love it?
John Dorge looking for Loggins. He'll drive all the way, pops it up, makes it no. Hit out of the hands of Sengstock, but it's Loggins again. He's everywhere and makes that basket. But still, Leroy hasn't done what he did in the second half last week.
That's not the second half. To Leroy Loggins.
No, it's not the second half. And this capacity crowd barracking for Adelaide predominantly don't want to see what he did in the second half last week. Pearce going for 3, makes it. No, only 2.
And isn't it amazing the turnover in the 36ers offense when Daryl Pearce starts to use his left hand? All of a sudden the Bullets defense isn't as threatening as it was. Pearce going to his left opens it up as Cal Bruton hits a lovely three-point shot from outside. That takes the Bullets along to 50. The 36ers are on 45, and that's 18 points to Cal Bruton individually.
And Bruton has had a super game. Look at that pass, but Pearce, foul on Dorge. He doesn't like it, but he really did get in the way.
Great movement here by Daryl Pearce. Lovely little pass underneath. There he goes, and a fairly obvious foul there. So Daryl Pearce goes to the foul line, and Daryl Pearce has shot 8 baskets from outside, made 6. So that's 75% from outside the three-point line, and that just goes to show why Daryl Pearce is the three-point specialist in the Australian team.
And yet last week in Brisbane, Daryl Pearce attempted 11 shots from the same spot and only made 1, and that happened to be the first one. So is he on fire tonight, Gary? He's played superbly.
Well, he's been the difference for the Adelaide 36ers tonight, and the difference as far as the Bullets are concerned has been the inside defense work on the big guys.
And Cal Bruton, who's done an amazing job offensively.
So from the floor, Brisbane are shooting, from the foul line, Brisbane are shooting 75%. 36ers are only shooting 42%. There's a 2-on-1 fast break, and the Bullets lucky to come away with the ball as Calvin Bruton, he'll pull it out and set up the Bullets' offensive movement.
3 minutes and 3 seconds to go till half-time. It's Larry Sengstock inside to Leroy. Should score, misses. Dorge attempts to tap in. Off the head of Bill Jones comes to Daryl Pearce. That was a gimme basket to Brisbane. They missed a lot of them last week, and they may yet live to rue that one. Another beautiful screen set by Davis. Gets it back in the 1-1 and scores. Good play again. Daryl Pearce is setting up everything for the West End 36ers.
Yeah, there was a big mismatch there. Robert Sibley forced to go with Daryl Pearce, and Pearce saw Mark Davis roll off, and Pearce, certainly the playmaker, starting to use his left hand a little bit, looking at what his defensive player's doing, hitting a good percentage from outside and making some lovely assists. Good blocking out as Jones takes control on the boards. So the Sixers 2 points down. There's an outside shot from Daryl Pearce is good. So for the first time, the 36ers hit the front. It's 51 points to the 36ers, leading the Brisbane Bullets 50.
And a timeout has been called by Brian Curl again because he had to do something. All of a sudden, Brisbane starting to look in trouble. We're going to take a break. The West End 36ers are on 51 and Brisbane are on 50. sorry, yeah. That's... Shit. No, there's a minute 48 to go. Minute 48 to go in the quarter. Back live at the Apollo Stadium, and it's been basket for basket. The West End 36ers, 53, lead the Brisbane Bullets on 52. The foul called on Dwayne Nelson. And Gary, have you seen a better half of basketball before?
Well, I thought that the second half of last week's game was perhaps the best half of basketball I've ever seen, but I've now had to review that, and I think that tonight's first half has been absolutely spectacular. There's a minute 28 left. There's only a point in it. Amazing basketball.
Lynn, who do you think so far? I know the score is only 1 point the difference, but at this stage of the game, with just under 2 minutes to go till half-time, who do you think is starting to get on top?
I think the 36ers are getting on top now. They shoot a disastrous 36% in the first half. In the first quarter. The second quarter, they've come back with 84%. The Bullets were 59% in the first quarter. They're now shooting 47 from the floor. So the Sixers have got their confidence. That overpowering advantage that the Bullets had with their great defence has now been lost. And the 36ers seem to have control of this game now, in my opinion.
Davis puts up the shot. Is it good? No, it's not. The ball comes off Sengstock's head. Ray Wood fights for it. Referee calls out of play.
Did you say 84% the 36ers have shot?
In this quarter.
Amazing. Well, I don't think they can continue that in the third quarter.
Well, one usually makes allowances for not real heavy scoring rates in finals because they are finals and it's pressure all the way. But the 36ers in this quarter have really made up for what we could only call was a fairly average first quarter. But it's Dave Nelson back with the action, gives it off to Sengstock. Jones doesn't want to foul it. 3 seconds the crowd calls. Jones makes up, takes the rebound.
And the man with the ball is the one that's turned around the game for the 36ers in this quarter. He's hit some magnificent baskets from outside, and he's also been able to feed off. And that's the reason, because he's now going to his left, and the Bullets haven't been used to seeing Pearce go to his left.
And Pearce unlucky there. It was 3 quarters in and then popped out. That quite often happens with these sort of basketball rings. Back with the Brisbane side now. 23 seconds to go to half-time. They'll be looking for just one more shot. It's Dave Nelson, the man who was sacked from Canberra, the assistant coach of the Bullets, with the ball, looking for the drive. He's a top 3-point shooter, but gives it to Sengstock. Puts it up. Yes, it drops for Brisbane. It gives them the lead by 1 point. 4 seconds. The crowd counts it out. Davis pops up the shot off the ring. No basket. It's half-time here at the Apollo Stadium. The West End 36ers on 53, and they are 1 point in front of the Brisbane Bullets on 52. It's half-time. We'll be back after the break. You got anything? Well, we're back here at the Apollo Stadium. It's half-time, and it gives everyone a chance to get a bit of a breather. It's been a fantastic first half of basketball. In the first quarter, it was all Brisbane. They got an 11-point break. And then at quarter time, Ken Cole just got the 36ers G'd up, and all of a sudden, in that second quarter, we saw some fantastic shooting from the man they call the Iceman, Daryl Pearce. Daryl Pearce has had a lot to prove this year. He was picked in the Australian team. There are plenty of players in the NBL that said he shouldn't have been there, but gee, hasn't he proved them wrong in that quarter of basketball. Been some tremendous rebounding, some real tough stuff under the basket. Looking at the rebounds, Adelaide has taken 23 rebounds to Brisbane's 19, and that, I can tell you, is a good effort for Brisbane, because in every one of the 3 clashes that these two teams have played this year, Brisbane were absolutely killed in the rebounds by the 2 West End 36ers, Mark Davis and Bill Jones. The crowd here could not have got more than their money's worth. It was $15 a ticket to get into the Apollo Stadium. When the tickets went on sale last Thursday week, they sold in under an hour. This stadium holds 3,500, and those of you who saw the game from Boondall last Saturday night, where 11,800 fans cheered on Brisbane, well, if you thought the Brisbane fans made a lot of noise, this crowd here at the Apollo Stadium has made twice as much, and it's only a third of the side. So far it's been a tremendous game of basketball, some interesting calls from the referees, but I think they've done a fairly good job. It certainly would not be very easy down there. Ray Hunt, we remember that we saw him here in the knockout final against Illawarra. Well, he had a bad game there and he was man enough to admit it. Last Saturday at Boondall, Ray Hunt umpired a superb game, and also partnering him tonight we see Eddie Crouch, who is umpiring his first final. It's been a tremendous year for the 36ers. They are yet to lose a home game. They haven't been beaten at the Apollo Stadium for something like 18 months. And that really is a record that no one is going to beat for quite some time. It'd be interesting to be down in the rooms at the moment to hear what Brian Curl is saying to his charges. I think we can expect pretty much the same as we saw last week. We're going to see Leroy Loggins, that man for Brisbane who scored 30 points in the second half last week. We're going to see him come out here and try absolutely everything. You see the West End girls here. There really is a carnival atmosphere here at the Apollo Stadium tonight. It's something when you came down to the basketball at the Apollo Stadium 3 years ago, well, you could have fired a machine gun and you wouldn't have hit anyone except for a few of the tall players, but not so this year. Every game has been a sellout. It's been a mighty season. They're doing what they usually do at the halftime break. They have a bit of a foul shooting competition, and the youngsters who have followed this game so religiously can win for themselves 36ers posters from the rather nice looking West End girls. And what we're going to see shortly is something that has been almost as popular as the basketball here. That, I can tell you, is the Red Baron. She'd be about 15 years old, and I can tell you she's going to be dressed in Leroy Loggins' singlet. Now, following her over is Snoopy. Now, what we're seeing here is the Miss Drill Team International. For those of you at home who haven't seen these girls, they are world champions, not just once, but they have been world champions for something like 5 years. They're all youngsters. They are trained here in Adelaide. They get a tremendous following here at the Apollo Stadium, and I'm sure the viewers at home watching this telecast exclusive through the 10 network tonight are really going to see how much work that these girls put into their performances. I can tell you it's very hot sitting up here in the commentary bench. It would be even much hotter for them in their Snoopy outfits. They get very, very well supported here by the crowd. They are here religiously for every home game except when they are overseas. They have performed in front of Her Royal Highness, or rather Her Majesty the Queen, probably Her Royal Highness as well. They've been invited to the United States on numerous occasions, and as I said, they are world champions 5 times over. The girl in the middle, number 11, wearing Leroy Loggins' singlet. The girl at the front wearing the singlet of number 32, and I'll tell you who that is. That is David Spear. Capacity crowd here at the Apollo Stadium. It's been a tremendous game so far. Shortly, I would think that the Miss Drill Team International will hear their music start. They're waiting for the course commentator to start the music so they can start. And the crowd here will enjoy that almost as much as they've enjoyed the basketball so far.
Snoopy versus the Red Baron.
They're introducing it now as Snoopy versus the Red Baron. And here comes the music. Enjoy it at home, we'll enjoy it here.
World War, the bloody Red Baron was flying once more. The Allied command ignored all of its men and called on Snoopy to do it again. It was the night before Christmas, 40 below, when Snoopy went up in search of his foe. Spied the Red Baron, fiercely they fought. With ice on his wings, Snoopy knew he was caught. Bells rang up from the land He reached for the trigger to pull it up tight. Why he didn't shoot, well, we'll never know. Or was it the bells from the village below? Christmas bells, those Christmas bells, ringing through the land, bringing peace to all the world and goodwill to man. The Baron made Snoopy fly to the Rhine and forced him to land behind the enemy lines. Snoopy was certain that this was the end when the Baron cried out, "Merry Christmas, my friend!" The Baron then offered a holiday toast, and Snoopy, our hero, saluted his host. And then with a roar, they were both on their way, each knowing they'd meet on some other day. Christmas bells, those Christmas bells, ringing through the land, bringing peace to all the world and goodwill to man. Christmas bells, those Christmas bells, ringing through the land, bringing peace to all the world and goodwill to man.
Oh, what a fantastic performance.
Ladies and gentlemen,
from the Westfield Adelaide 36ers cheerleaders. We're going to take a break from the basketball. It's half-time. The Brisbane Bullets are leading on 54 to the West End 36ers on 53. Back after the break.
Hang on, Trey. Who does he want, them or us? Number 14.
Back here at the Apollo Stadium. Still half-time. The score.
Number 9.
The score 54 to 53. Brisbane leading by 1 point. Lynn Parnell is over with John Hurd, and let's see what he's got to say.
Australian basketball, former captain of the Australian Olympic team. John, how do you see the game?
Well, it's a very close one, Lynn, isn't it? The boards, the fighting on the board has been a feature of the game. It's interesting to note, from my calculations, 36 have turned the ball over about 14 times during the game to 3 to the Brisbane Bullets, and yet they're still only 1 point behind. So if they can get control of that, get back into the game with the rebounds where we know that that's where their strength is, then I think we'll see a different picture in the second half. The Brisbane Bullets are renowned for their third quarter, so I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think the 36ers could come out with a third quarter. They've had a good third quarter all season, but the Brisbane defence has caused the turnovers.
Yes, it has, and obviously the Curl has come in with a very good match plan, and he's used it very well. It's going to be interesting to see when Mackay comes onto the court. We haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, I'd expect Mike Mackay to start, but it's an interesting second half coming up, and let's see what happens.
Okay.
Well, back here at the central commentary position with Gary Fleet from Brisbane. Gary, you've been down in the Brisbane rooms. What did Brian Curl have to say?
Brian Curl said, and I agree wholeheartedly with him, that the Bullets have got to continue taking it into the Adelaide 36ers. A couple of the big guys from the 36ers have got a couple of fouls on them, and the Bullets just need to continue with the pressure, continue to bring it in underneath. And I disagree with Lynn. I think that as the Bullets are a third quarter basketball team, they'll come out in the third quarter and they'll get a 6 or 7 point lead, and as the fourth quarter finishes and the final whistle sounds, the hooter sounds, the Bullets will have defeated the Adelaide 36ers.
Well, we've had 2 fantastic quarters of basketball so far. Lynn Parnell saying the West End 36ers are a top third quarter side. You're saying the Bullets are a top third quarter side. I don't know whether I can take much more of this.
Well, you remember last week, Andrew, in the third quarter, the Bullets came back, and I remember you saying at half-time last week that Ken Cole said that Leroy Loggins would come out the money man, and I think you'll see exactly the same thing here tonight. When the pressure is on, Leroy gets a glint in his eye, and all of a sudden he goes for it. And although he's got a few points in the first half, he really hasn't had the dynamic halves that we can expect from him. Cal Bruton, as you said earlier on, has played exceptionally well, but I think that Leroy Loggins will come out in this third quarter, and whoop-de-doo, we're going to see a game of basketball.
Yes, I think if Cal Bruton hadn't put up the performance that he's done so far in this game, well, we could have seen a repeat of last week where the home side were up by 11 points, or rather last week the 36ers were up by 11 points. At this point in time, it's Brisbane by 1 point, but they really do have to thank Cal Bruton.
And the Adelaide 36ers can thank Darryl Pearce. Was he not awesome in that second quarter?
Yes, I'm sure that when I was in Brisbane last weekend, a few people were saying, how did this guy ever get in the Australian team? Well, they'll be watching it up there, and they'll know now why he's in the Australian team.
I must say that the crowd here in Adelaide is fantastic. Lynn, in Brisbane, you sort of think that the Brisbane crowd was the be-all and end-all, but you come away to another city and you see a crowd like the crowd here at the Apollo Stadium. They seem to know the strengths and weaknesses of every individual 36er player.
Certainly the support from the crowd has been great this year, and the home crowd here are very intelligent. They understand their basketball and they thrive on their basketball, and certainly the boom sport here in South Australia.
Some people have criticised the Adelaide crowd, and that's Adelaide people, for being far too noisy. They really need to go to Boondall to see what noise is like, and well, let's not say unsportsmanlike conduct, but playing a band so out of tune when the opposition is foul shooting, well, perhaps it's a little over the top, but it's all part of the game, and the game really has taken over in the last 12 months, Gary.
What I like is the fact that basketball is a game that, even though you're not on the court, you feel as if you're participating in the game, and I think that's got a lot to do with the success of basketball in the last couple of years. All of a sudden, the game has been discovered. For a while it was the flavour of the month. Now it's the in flavour of the decade. Wonderful game of basketball, and with just a few seconds left before the second half gets underway, I want to make a prediction that the Bullets by 4 points.
Yes, in fact, I've heard that prediction by even some Adelaide people today. Well, I'll stick with mine. I thought Adelaide would win by 15 up in Brisbane. They only won by 3, so perhaps the crowd can spur them on and get that extra 12 points and make it 15 and give them the National Basketball League title. But we won't know that for quite some time. And Lynn, your prediction still stands?
Yeah, I still think 36ers by 15. I think this quarter is really going to lay the ground rules for the rest of the game. I mean, that's a fairly obvious statement. Both teams have been very strong in their third quarters. The 36ers, as we've seen in that last quarter, only need a few minutes to explode. I've got to take my hat off to the Brisbane team. I think their defence has been superb. Cal Bruton leading the way with 18 points for the Bullets, with Loggins on 12, Senstock on 10. And for the 36ers, of course, Pearce had an 18-point quarter to take his personal tally along to 24. Davis is on 12, Jones is on 7, and shooting percentages for the half have evened out fairly well, with the 36ers shooting 51% from the floor and the Bullets on 53.
What about rebounds, Lynn? Have you got the stats for those?
Yes, rebounds, the 36ers have pulled down 24 rebounds to the Bullets 18. So that's a commanding advantage in rebounding that the 36ers enjoyed in the first quarter has been brought right back by the Bullets.
Well, I don't think it matters who any basketball fan in the country supports. I'm absolutely positively sure that what we saw last week in Brisbane and what we're seeing here tonight shows that these are the best two teams in the country. And have a look at those statistics. The West End 36ers shooting percentage 51 to Brisbane's 53. Total rebounds 24 to the home side, 18 to the visitors. That's made up of 6 offensive and 18 defensive for the 36ers, 5 and 13 for Brisbane. From the three-point line, we see 70% from the West End 36ers, not so hot from the Brisbane Bullets. We're all set for the second half of this fantastic game of basketball, the second of the Wang National Basketball League finals between the West End 36ers and the Brisbane Bullets. The home side lead in the series 1-0. Your commentator, Lynn Parnell.
And for the first time we see Michael Mackay, number 10 for the 36ers, on the floor. Rookie of the year in 1985, and an explosive player. And I suspect that he'll probably match up against Leroy Loggins as Darryl Pearce goes to his left again and hits another basket. So that's 55 to the 36ers, 54 to the Brisbane Bullets.
So the West End 36ers back in front. But what can Brisbane do in this offense? They get the ball across to Dave Nelson, a good shooter, but hands off to Radcliffe. He's guarded by Pearce. Radcliffe been relatively quiet. A steal by Mike Mackay. Foul called by referee Ray Hunt. Mike Mackay hates the call. A hands foul call, and judge for yourself, Lynn.
Well, Calvin Bruton ran in between that put Michael Mackay to disadvantage. Out went the arm. The referee called the foul. But as you made the comment from Boondale last week, Gary, Michael Mackay is like pepper and salt. He's in everything. He comes on the floor. He's not frightened to take a shot. There he is again, contesting that rebound. Picks up a foul. A very enthusiastic player.
Well, Larry Senstock missed another easy basket underneath the bucket then. How many times have the Brisbane Bullets, and not only tonight's game, but he travelled, not only tonight's game, but also last week's game, missed those easy points underneath the basket. They can't afford to do that.
Almost a mismatch there under the basket. Nelson was only guarded by Pearce, but now Bill Jones makes the steal. The pass wasn't good into Senstock, and the 36ers, can they turn it on for this furiously vocal crowd here at the Apollo Stadium? It's Mike Mackay, his first shot of the match. It's no good though. In fact, not a good shot at all. Doesn't even hit the ring. Ronnie Radcliffe has Bruton on the other side, but he's going to go all the way, try and draw the foul. It's called. The crowd doesn't like it. It's called on Al Green, and that's his third.
Well, let's have a look at that foul. Al Green did everything he could not to foul. He just ran back. Radcliffe threw up a bad shot, and Al Green knew that Radcliffe was off balance. The Radcliffe also not frightened to take a shot, Gary, but the referee did call the foul.
Well, at half-time, Brian Curl insisted that to his players, and he did so vehemently, that they take it to the players, to the 36ers, because of this very thing. But all of a sudden, they're going to find themselves in foul trouble.
And immediately, Ken Cole makes the substitution. Al Green is off the court. Raymond Wood, number 9, back on the boards. So the 36ers lineup is Davis, Jones, Mackay, Pearce and Wood. For Brisbane, it's Senstock, Nelson, Loggins, Radcliffe and Bruton. And you wouldn't get two finer sides anywhere matched up in the country.
Speaking of matchups, Michael Mackay has Radcliffe guarding him. Mackay has the definite height advantage and will probably be able to shoot over the top if he wants to. And Jones goes all the way to the basket, picks up a rebound off fingers and lays up with the left hand to take it 2 points. So it's 57-56 in favour of the 36ers. As Michael Mackay, there is that man again, picks up a loose ball. A good effort, Michael Mackay, coming in cold after the half-time break.
Yeah, Mike likes to mix it around. He's a big boy. He's only 20 years age, but he's a tough player. He was the Rookie of the Year last year. Pearce misses. Davis fighting. Senstock grabs the rebound. Slapped by Davis. Foul call.
Another foul on Mark Davis.
Yes, and that's a bit of trouble for the 36ers. you see this, and this is what the Victorian referees quite often call. You see Davis, there goes the hand, slaps the ball out of Sengstock's hands, and the referees from Victoria are well known for that. They pick those fouls up all the time. Not too many of the other states' referees do that, Lynn.
No, they like to call the hands fouls. If there's any suggestion of an arm going out, they'll call the hands fouls, but they're more inclined to let the body work go underneath the basket. Great defence by the 36ers as Raymond Wood comes away with the ball, and the 36ers look a whole lot better in this last two quarters than they did the first time. There's a foul on Leroy Loggins, and don't the crowd love it?
Well, Daryl Pearce throws the ball up to say, and isn't it about time? But it's only the second on Leroy Loggins, and that's really nothing to worry about. He was on 3 in the first half last week and wasn't fouled out of the game just until seconds before extra time.
I think you've only just got to wait another couple of minutes before Leroy starts to turn it on for the crowd here at the Apollo Stadium. There's a foul this time on Larry Sengstock, who looked like he was just standing there.
Well, I'm sure my heart missed a beat. I thought that call could have gone either way, and still Brisbane not really in foul trouble, because that's only Sengstock's second foul. Had it been a call on Mark Davis, well then the 36ers would have been in real strife. But it's Mark Davis on the foul line. Davis average from the foul line this season 73%, and he misses from the foul line on that occasion, so it's still 1 point in favour of the West End 36ers as Mark Davis looks up for his second shot and makes it. And Mark Davis is going to look to go one-on-one, I think, with Sengstock. You saw that way where he back to the basket, took a couple of dribbles, and he was going to go one-on-one from the time he received the ball. Gary, I seem to get this horrible feeling in my stomach that we've got a repeat of last week's game on our hands, as again the foul is called, this time on Bill Jones. That's his second. You look at the replay there, Sengstock the feint, and as Jones is on the way down, there comes the hand, and I guess there must have been contact there because that's the way the referee called it. So it'll be Larry Sengstock at the foul line.
The bonus shot for Larry. That's in. 59 to the Bullets, 58 to the 36ers. And I think, Lynn, if we don't watch it before too long, this game could be decided the way that last week's game was, with players fouling out and the advantage going to the opposing team.
That's right, another shot taken by Michael Mackay, and that's almost an error there as Calvin Bruton does the unthinkable, throwing the ball back in from defence. And look at that effort from Michael Mackay. That's the sort of thing that the Sixers need, as the crowd screams that Leroy Loggins legged him. But it's the Bullets with the ball as Calvin Bruton fires up a shot from outside and hits. That's a tough shot to make. Yeah, so all of a sudden it's Brisbane sneaking back into a 3-point lead, but as we were saying, Martin Mackay doesn't mind mixing it with the best. It's Pearce though. He's the man that played a great first half for the 36ers. Davis with the shot, it's in and out again. That's the third time that's happened to the home side. And Brisbane looking to open up a 5-point break. No foul call. Should have gone one way or the other, but neither. Radcliffe scores. 3 points for Brisbane. And all of a sudden, the Brisbane bench is alive. They've shot away to a 6-point lead.
Well, the Bullets have always been a third quarter basketball team. I think that last 60 seconds could turn out to be the crucial 60 seconds for the game.
And the referees, I honestly believe, are just starting to lose a little bit of control here, Lynn. Certainly players from both sides are throwing themselves on the ball. Players are going down like 9 pins. And I would think that both coaches would be looking for a timeout. Certainly Coach Ken Cole would look for a timeout. The 36ers offense looking a little bit ragged as Leroy fires up one under pressure, and underneath is Mark Davis with his foul. So Mark Davis now goes, I think, to 4 fouls, and that spells trouble for the 36ers. Well, that is big trouble for the 36ers. Mark Davis on 4 fouls, 7 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the third quarter. The score, Brisbane Bullets on 66, West End 36ers on 58, and we'll be back right after this break. Sixers are taking a lot of bad shots now.
The Bullets can keep the pressure on here. I think we've got ourselves a real ball game.
Yeah.
When the Bullets get a roll on in the third quarter, that's when they do it. God, I can't stand it. Yes! No bucket.
No basket.
Back live at the Apollo Stadium, and it's a 7-point ball game with the Brisbane Bullets leading as a substitution is made by the West End 36ers coach Ken Cole. Mark Davis, the trump card all season, leaves the game. Dwayne Nelson, who's been in pretty fine form himself all year, comes back on. There we see Mark Davis on the bench sitting next to Al Green. Two fine players to have sitting on the bench, but Davis in terrible foul trouble has 4, and it's Cal Bruton on the foul line. Brisbane Bullets really taking this game away from the 36ers. They lead by 8 points.
That's Calvin Bruton's 22nd point to his personal tally. Takes his team, the Bullets, along to 70. They're leading the 36ers on 62 as Calvin Bruton makes the second. So that's 71. That's 9 points in favour of the Bullets. And Mark Davis leaving with only 13 points at this stage in the game. And that's a very low personal score for a man of his ability.
And I bet you, Gary, if I attempted to read your mind, it would say that you're going to be here till Sunday night.
Well, I've said all week on my radio program on 4BK in Brisbane that I believe that the Brisbane Bullets were unlucky to lose the game last week, and that with the way that they're psyched up for tonight's game, I don't really think there would be too much problem for them. And the first few minutes of the game, I thought, well, it started well for the Bullets, and this third quarter they've really taken it to the 36ers. But I think the major advantage that the Bullets have is that the 36ers are in foul trouble. There's still 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in this quarter, and every time the 36ers foul, the Bullets will go to the line.
Ray Wood takes the shot. Davis, or rather Nelson, a rebound, nothing called, and it's a Brisbane ball as Ronnie Radcliffe comes down to set it up. Leroy Loggins with it, gives it to Nelson. Brisbane lead by 11. That's going to be real tough for the home side. Now they lead by 13 as Sengstock makes a sitter.
And what a great pass underneath there from Nelson. I mean, that was just a lovely assist. Sengstock made good position without the ball, and Nelson did the rest. As the pass goes inside, but it's the defence of the Bullets. They're pulling them down from the defensive boards. 36ers aren't getting those second and third chances underneath the offensive basket they were getting last week.
Foul was called on number 32, Dave Nelson. You could have fooled me. I would have sworn it was called on Larry Sengstock. It was his body that was hit. But a timeout has been called by Ken Cole, and he is not a happy man. And one wonders whether we have the courage to stick a microphone in there and hear exactly what he's saying.
Come out. Al's come back in. Calculated gamble here. Be prepared to go to the one spot more than we're going, trying to force it in here to 4. Go the other way and use the double screen for Darryl coming over the top and looking for Billy down in low. You've got to do a hell of a lot better job on that defensive board, gentlemen. You're getting yourselves killed under there. You've got to get the ball back. There's 5 hard minutes in this quarter. Let's get this score back. Get it back to about 6 by 3/4 time. Dig away at them and run it hard. They're tired, but they're hanging in there. Play good. Let's go.
Ken Cole has got some problems down there. His side is 13 points down, and Gary, I'm sure you'd like to see him stay there.
I was surprised to hear him say, let's see if we can only be 6 points down by 3/4 time. I mean, that's the sign of a man who's not really confident. Early on in the game, the 36ers pulled back an 11-point deficit just like that, click of the fingers. But the Bullets are in control in the third quarter. 4 minutes and 56 seconds left. They lead 75-62.
And Al Green's on the floor. He hasn't been cited very much. He's going to do a job on Bruton, as once again Sengstock and the Bullets pull down that defensive rebound, and that's what's doing the job. And Leroy Loggins has effectively cut Darryl Pearce out of the game. He's denying Pearce the ball, and Pearce, of course, was the big threat for the 36ers in that second quarter.
Well, let's see what this man can do. Al Green, he can turn a game around, and that's exactly what this 3,500 strong crowd would like to see as the pass goes in agreement. Again, fantastic hustle from Cal Bruton, and now it's Leapin' Leroy. He'll bop for the shot, but gives across to Nelson. Beautiful pass, deserves 2 points, doesn't get him. Rebound grabbed by Jones. The 36ers need to settle it down. Mike Mackay, he'll get a foul called on him. No!
Unbelievable call.
And the score counts.
Now that is bad.
That is 2 points to us. Have a look. You see Senstock stop, and that is a good block by Senstock, and Mackay knocks into the ground, and unbelievably for the Adelaide fans, what a benefit of the doubt. The foul is called on Senstock, but then again, one can say it's justice because I reckon they've missed a few on him, Lynn.
Brian Curl going absolutely crazy on the bench. I have to say that Michael Mackay was a little bit lucky, I thought, on that occasion, but it's Calvin Bruton that brings the ball away. Gary?
I got to say that's the most atrocious call that I have seen in a long, long time, and that is just not on.
Cal Bruton with the ball for the Bullets, looking to sustain this lead they have, but Mackay makes the steal. Dunk it, Michael. No, just lays it up. And that's closer now that the 36ers get, but they're still down by 9 points. That's a long way to get back, but there's a lot of basketball left, Lynn.
Ronnie the Rat Radcliffe inside. Bad defence, Michael Mackay was not looking, but then again he is guarding Leroy Loggins, and I'd suspect his job is to cut Loggins out of the game and not worry about helping out.
He's done that all right so far.
He's done a good job on Loggins. As Dwayne Nelson up from the jump shot from the foul line, it won't drop. Michael Mackay throws the ball outside. There goes Nelson, that'll be 2 points. No! And the Sixers not shooting with any confidence inside. They were making those in the last few games.
Yes, they certainly were, and all of a sudden things going Brisbane's way as Nelson gets his hand or picked up by Pearce, who looked for a shot. Pearce had a fantastic second quarter, but as Lynn had said, was well held by Loggins in the third. Nelson misses the third. Mackay's under there though, and he puts it away. So the 36ers move to 68, and they trail the Brisbane Bullets on 77.
But what is important here, Andrew, is that the Bullets are showing great defensive skills. The 36ers are throwing up shots that are not going in. The Bullets at the other end are finding the good shot like that from Larry Senstock, and it's not touching the sides.
Yes, one has to admit that the Bullets are making it look just that little bit easier, Lynn.
Yeah, certainly I agree. The 36ers defence isn't what it should be. They're not really getting up close. There's a hands foul not called as Bill Jones spins, and that once again, Ronnie Radcliffe, and they run into the fast break. So the Bullets are definitely controlling the defensive boards.
Ball called at Adelaide ball. Larry Senstock doesn't like the call.
And the shooting percentages, Brisbane are shooting 66% from the floor to Adelaide's 38%. So Adelaide very inconsistent with their shooting percentages from the floor.
9 points the difference, 2 minutes and 6 seconds to go in this third quarter. Pearce puts up the long shot, looks good, is good. Now the game is only 6 points the difference.
29 points to Daryl Pearce.
29 points, an amazing player.
Radcliffe with the ball, gives off to Senstock, played a great captain's game. Leroy Loggins looks for the foul. Not forthcoming, but he has the ball now. There was one in there. No basket called. And I've got no idea.
What great defence, Michael Mackay. Look at this, post up. Loggins receives the ball, spins. Good defence, Michael Mackay. He leant in, and I think there was probably a little bit of Chris McGaw in that defensive movement, Gary. As soon as Loggins leant in, Mackay fell to the floor. The referee had no hesitation in calling the charge.
Well, once again, that should not have been a charging foul. That should have been 2 points. Leroy to the line and another foul for the 36ers.
Well, Mike Mackay hit the ground pretty hard, but he says, yeah, I'm okay to the bench. Al Green will take the ball from the side, and it's this man, Al Green, who can lift the 36ers. Bullet-like pass into Nelson. Jones under there. Oh, what was that? No call made. Crowd hates it. Loggins will go to drive all the way. There's plenty of fouls.
Oh, come on, referee, lift your game.
And all of a sudden, again, we're seeing these two referees starting to wonder what's going on there. There's a lot of tough stuff. Now Loggins there goes with the shot. Can't be no score because the ball didn't go in. But there was a foul called on the 36ers. I'm not sure who it was called on.
And on top of all that, the 36ers almost ripped the ring off the backboard.
It'll be Leroy Loggins at the foul line. And Lynn, I'm really starting to feel that these umpires have to do something.
Well, certainly, I think the referees are doing a pretty fair job when all things are considered. One of the things I don't like is the piddly little hands fouls that are being called. And a lot of the pushing and shoving that should be called is not being called. It's the hands fouls that frustrate players. But what a fantastic pace this game's been played at.
Leroy Loggins on the foul line. The Bullets lead by 8 points. They lead by 9 now. They're on 80 points. The West End 36ers are on 71. There's only a minute and a half to go in this third quarter. Al Green with the ball. The 36ers have a lot of work to do if they want to get back into this game. It's Pearce looking to get the ball out. Comes right out to Bill Jones again at the top of the key. Jones looking to give the ball a foul on Sibley, not called. Mike Mackay with the ball now. Balks for an awkward looking shot. Rebound pulled by Brisbane. Sibley has the ball. Robert Sibley, not a good game last week, done a fair job tonight. Now it's Ronnie Radcliffe. That little flick pass across to Bruton and he'll score. And Adelaide at this stage are in deep trouble. They're 11 points down, would have to play an outstanding last quarter to get out of this, Lynn.
Certainly the 36ers defence isn't anywhere near what it should be. The Brisbane team's offence looking really good. They're hitting some good baskets. And underneath is the charge foul has been called and a lot of frustration from the 36ers.
Yes, and you see the pass come in here to Bill Jones. He dummies, then goes, but it's not the player there, it's Bruton there, gets position, and Jones knocks him down, and that's where the foul was called.
It's another foul on Jones. He's on 3 fouls.
So, 30 seconds to go to a three-quarter time. Let's see if Brisbane can increase this lead to 13 points.
Well, if they do, that unlucky 13 for Adelaide may come through again.
Bruton, Sibley, Radcliffe, 18 seconds. Radcliffe still, gives it to Sibley, no, Pearce, pressure, the foul is called on Ronnie Radcliffe. He shakes his head and says, I don't believe it. King Cole says, well, about our time. And now the 36ers will take the ball from the side. There's 12 seconds to go in this third quarter, and they will want one shot. Now, if they make the basket, if it's a three-pointer, it'll put them 8 points down at the three-quarter time mark. But they lose it immediately. A bad pass, Bruton from the three-point line, makes it. And it is going to be oh so difficult for the 36ers to get back. Leroy Loggins is still, he couldn't possibly make it. The siren goes for three-quarter time, and Brisbane look like they could pull off one of the upsets of the century by forcing this game into a third playoff on Sunday. It's three-quarter time. The score is 85 to Brisbane, 71 to the West End 36ers. We'll be back after the break.
I said at the start of the game, Lynn, that those guys know that if they lose tonight, that's it. Those guys know if they lose tonight, they've got another chance on Sunday.
Yep.
And the psychological advantage then must be with the Bullets, because on top of all that, in the papers this week in Brisbane, there's been all the stuff about Bullets, the 1985 champions. Perhaps they shouldn't have been. Why wasn't the best of 3 series last year? Had it been best of 3 last year, would Adelaide have won? Brisbane had one good game against Adelaide. Look what's happened to them this year. They've been creamed 3 times. So those guys are psyched up for tonight's game, and I've said all season that the Bullets have never played well. They've just sort of rolled along on their egos, on the publicity, and now all of a sudden it's crunch time. Gee, what a game of basketball, eh?
Good. There you go. Okay, we're ready.
The last 12 minutes of the second series of the Wang 1986 NBL Finals.
Live from the Apollo Stadium, it's bad news for the Adelaide viewers, it's great news for the Brisbane viewers in this second Wang National Basketball League final. At three-quarter time, the Brisbane Bullets lead, 85 to 71. Mark Davis on 4 fouls and back on the court for the 36ers. Lynn, can the 36ers get out of it?
Well, they're going to have to do a lot more than they did in that third quarter, which certainly belonged to Brisbane. They hit 80% from the floor, but the 36ers only hit 40% from the floor. And this crowd here, the capacity crowd here at Apollo, right behind the home team, encourage them, trying to make them lift their game. They're going to have to lift their defence and they're going to have to shoot a lot better in offence.
Well, Gary, as you said before the game, Brisbane had nothing to lose tonight. They've gone for it, and they find themselves 14 points up.
I've always said that the Bullets are a great basketball team when they're motivated to win. And up until tonight, I really don't think that motivation has been there. They know, as you just said, Andrew, that they've got to win tonight. And I think that the psychological advantage is with them, because the 36ers know that even if they lose tonight, they've still got another opportunity on Sunday.
Well, Brisbane starting to really look the goods out here. There was absolutely no defence on Cal Bruton here. Shot made by Pearce. Jones the rebound, still no fouls. Mike Mackay slips at the crucial moment. Pearce should pick it up. Loggins, the worst foul we've seen tonight, and it's called on who?
No, it's just a ball at the side to the Brisbane Bullets.
Well, Loggins really put the elbow in, but it wasn't called. And in fact, it was a Brisbane ball. And now that ball is hit out of court, and it'll stay with Brisbane. But this game has had everything, and particularly if you're a Brisbane Bullets fan, you would have enjoyed it to the utmost. They lead 87-71.
And Calvin Bruton, an outstanding game to date for the Bullets. He's hit 33 points. As the Bullets throw the ball around, they've been a lot more disciplined, a lot more control in their offensive movement. And there's an outside shot that goes up there from Robert Sibley, and Mark Davis, with 4 fouls, brings the ball down. Al Green hasn't really been the explosive player that we've seen so far tonight, with only 2 points for the game.
And that's it for Mark Davis. He's had a foul called him. He's out of the ball game.
Goodbye, Marco.
Robert Sibley shakes the hands of his teammates on the bench as Mark Davis, a very sad and sorry looking Mark Davis, makes his way to the bench. Most people here in this capacity housed Apollo Stadium are still wondering what the foul was for. The Brisbane bench would be beside themselves with glee. Davis probably had one of his quieter games, had a lot of pressure put on him all night, and he's out of the game now. The substitution was made. Dwayne Nelson is on the boards. And again, it's Cal Bruton, and he really has had a super game. And Brisbane, well, there's almost no doubt about it now. They'll be playing the Adelaide 36ers on Sunday again. And we're back to where we started from. Whoever wins on Sunday, it looks at this stage, will be the National Basketball League champions. Strong rebound from Sibley. Leroy, lovely pass to Bruton. Nice and balanced, an easy basket. And Brisbane are really starting to run now. They're pouring it on. They lead by 20 points, Lynn, and there's no way Adelaide can get out of this.
No, I can't see it at this stage. There's still a lot of basketball left. They're really going to have to do something to get out of this game. But a lot of frustration coming out now as Michael Mackay picks up his 3rd foul. And Calvin Bruton is certainly the star for the Brisbane Bullets team. He's hit 37 points.
What a game from Cal Bruton. Gee, and they didn't even start him. They say that he does his best work when he comes off the bench. Well, hasn't he proved that correct? 37 points, that's unbelievable.
He's only been averaging 14 points for the rest of the season, and he's come out tonight and scored 14. Loggins loomed as the threat. Well, Loggins has certainly put in a very serviceable game, but one of the best things that he's done is to cut Daryl Pearce out of the game, apart from that explosive second quarter.
I've been sitting here for the last 2 minutes. My mouth is open. I just don't know what to say. The Brisbane Bullets have certainly shown them all what it's all about. And yet again, the 36ers throw up an undisciplined hope shot. And as a consequence, the Bullets come away with the ball. For the viewers in TVO in Brisbane who are watching this, I'm sure they'll be just so impressed.
Everything going right for Brisbane now. It's Robert Sibley off to the man who has caused so much trouble. Loggins pushes Pearce out the way, and the referee shuts his eyes. Bruton now with a shot. What a fantastic basket from Cal Bruton. And after lifting his side last week in a great second half that almost got Brisbane out of it, not quite, he has really led the way tonight. 39 points. The ball with Bill Jones. No foul called, makes the shot. Yes, finally, some of these fans say a foul is called. It's called on Chris McGraw.
There's the pass that goes inside. Jones spins. There's a push, not called, up. And there's the hands foul that's called. And they're the things that have really been upsetting the 36ers. That original push. There's been an injury. No, Daryl Pearce comes away. He's okay. Let's see what Coach Ken Cole's got to say and if he can pull some magic out of the bag.
Listen, we've got to play with a lot more control and pride than we're playing out there with at the moment. You're on the line, you're in 2, okay? Raymond, you carry the ball. Let's see if we can push the ball inside to Bill in the one spot, run the ball hard off it and see if we can get something decent happening out there. Darryl, a couple of more minutes, okay? Run our stuff and get back some points. If we're going into a third game, we certainly want to get some points back and play this one out. It's disgraceful to play a blowout job here. Come on, come on.
Who would have thought that with 8.5 minutes to go in this second final that the Brisbane Bullets would be leading by 25 points? And Gary, that's impossible to get out of now.
Say so. Yep. At the start of the game, I thought the Bullets would win, but I thought it would be a lot closer than this. Tell you what, your 15-point win to the 36 is not looking too hot, Andrew.
No, it's looking average, but we like to make things even in Adelaide, and we'll see you on Sunday. Lynn, it really has been a fairly disappointing performance by the 36ers so far, but you can't take anything away from Brisbane. They've just been too good so far.
I have to say the Brisbane defence has been something out of the bag. They've really come out and hustled. They've forced a lot of errors. The 36ers haven't been able to get the ball inside. Jones and Davis particularly have really been unsighted. In fact, they haven't done anywhere near what we've expected. And Davis has blessed the floor with only 13 points. And usually Davis is able to hit 26 points, which has been his average, and we see yet another turnover. A lot of undisciplined shots, very uncharacteristic 36ers team on the floor tonight.
Bruton looking to drive all the way, one hand, no basket tending called. Good rebound from Dwayne Nelson, or rather block. Pearce attempts it, misses. The ball should come out to Ally, comes out to Bill Jones. But Lynn, as I was going to ask, you've played enough basketball at this level. Can the 36ers, shocking foul called on Chris McGraw, and that's really ridiculous. And the Brisbane bench starting to make themselves look a little silly. They don't need to carry on like that. They can do it up in Brisbane. That doesn't really please the crowd much here at Apollo. They're leading well enough.
I think in Chris McGraw's defence there, Andrew, that the Bullets are so pumped up, and they so needed to win, that I think it's just the pumped up aggression and the natural emotion of the moment that is carrying them on. They know how much is at stake there, and Chris McGraw, who's one of the world's nice guys, I don't think he'd ever deliberately set out to do something like that.
This crowd hasn't given up yet. Their team is down by 23 after Ray Wood just made that basket, and there's 7.5 minutes to go. Can we expect a miracle, Lynn?
The only way that these 36ers can get out of this game, and that's a good call. That is a good call. It's a foul on Calvin Bruton for blocking, and full marks to David Spear. He fought his way over that screen. You agree that was a good call, Gary?
It was, yep.
And the only way the 36ers can get out of this game is if they get up and press full court, and they might be able to salvage something. And David Spear, Raymond Wood are very good defensive players, but then again Calvin Bruton, he can just bring the ball down the floor whenever he likes.
A foul missed there on Cal Bruton, put the hand in Wood's face, and I'm sure there was contact. Peter Ally with the ball. The 36ers retain possession. They'll set it up again. Long pass into Jones. Can he go all the way? Misses the shot. Nelson, a huge rebound over Leroy Loggins. And wow, Loggins had the ball and Nelson went straight over the top. Have a look at this. The shot comes up from Jones. He misses. Leroy, there goes Nelson, right over the top, over the shoulder of Leroy. Good call again. In fact, it wasn't Leroy, I beg your pardon. It was Cal Bruton. No wonder he got up so high.
We won't call a charging over the shoulder call there, Andrew.
I might have, but the refs...
We won't call it tunnelling underneath either, Gary.
Wouldn't dream of doing that.
I think we beg to differ up here. The umpires have control. Yep. Foul called. Who's it called on? On Cal Bruton, by the looks of it.
An intentional foul.
An intentional foul. I reckon a touch of headbutting, but I'd like to see it in replay if it's possible.
Couldn't see anything from here, Andrew. But
Cal Bruton
it's Dwayne Nelson on the foul line, and the 36ers in a lot of trouble.
Well, it really doesn't matter what Cal Bruton does now, because he has just about won this game for Brisbane, scoring something like 40 points. Jones, Nelson on the foul line, hasn't given up. Brings it back to a 20-point ball game. And we've seen some outstanding things here in the past, Lynn, but it would have to be absolutely sensational. Can it be 19? It's 19 points. It's 19 points. It remains on 19. I'm trying to help them out by counting them down. It's been a fabulous game of basketball, and the Brisbane Bullets really have to take the honours.
Yes, they do. As I keep saying, it's the defensive effort, and we see it again. If they're going to hang on, the referees don't call fouls. As David Spear shoots from outside, shooting percentage has been well down for the 36ers, and that is because of the fine defensive effort put out by the Brisbane Bullets.
So just over 6.5 minutes to go. The Brisbane Bullets are on 96. They have a 19-point break. They lead Adelaide, who are on 77. Leroy Loggins with the ball. Amazing that he can have such a quiet game and still see Brisbane that far in front. Rebound by Jones. David Spear. Take him on, son, the crowd roars, and Spear will drive, misses.
He perhaps would have been better off to set that up, I think.
Well, the 36ers have to do things and do them in a hurry if they're going to get out of this, because we're down to just about 6 minutes to go.
Well, the Bullets are doing well. Larry Senstock is on the bench. Dave Nelson is on the bench. At the beginning of the game, Lynn, you were commenting on John Dodge and how you didn't think that he's had all that great a season. He set out for most of this game. He really just hasn't had any effect on this game at all tonight.
No, but Chris McGraw, Robert Sibley have done a lot of muscle work underneath the basket. I have to say that the Bullets have done a lot better on the boards than I thought they'd do. And by the same token, the 36ers underneath haven't done anywhere near as well as they normally do. And that's another classic example with just the fighting effort of Sibley and McGraw underneath for the foul not to be called. So with 5 minutes and 44 seconds, it's 98 points in favour of the Brisbane Bullets, 77 in favour, and we cross to this commercial break.
Okay. Back live at the Apollo Stadium, 4 minutes and 56 seconds to go, and Brisbane will force this final series into a playoff game on Sunday. We'll be back where we started from. It'll be 1-1. The 36ers have won one game, and there's nothing sure that Brisbane will win this game. They're on 98, leading the 36ers on 77. Brisbane just playing around with the ball now, taking their time, just having a bit of shooting practice, but a steal made by Peter Ally. He has Ray Wood. It's 2-on-3. Wood drives, gives it to Nelson. Travel call or foul? No, travel first before the foul. Travel on Dwayne Nelson.
And there goes Raymond Wood. Little shuffle there underneath, a handoff, and there's the shuffle. Obvious travel called there. But who would have thought that the 36ers, after winning 20 consecutive home games, come into their 21st game here at Apollo and are absolutely thrashed by this magnificent Brisbane team, and they've only been able to manage 11% from the floor in this last quarter.
I would have thought that, Lynn.
Well, they have some strange people in Brisbane, but you have to give credit where it's due. The Bullets have played superbly tonight, both defensively and offensively. And the man with the ball at the moment, Cal Bruton, hasn't he showed the way? And he's still doing it. That's over 40 points for Cal Bruton. He's not very tall, but gee, he's good. He's classy. Whilst Leroy Loggins has had a pretty quiet game, it's just taken their other import, Cal Bruton, to do the damage on this 36ers side. Let's hope though, Lynn, do you think they can regroup for Sunday?
I think there's a few things that the 36ers have to look at. Firstly, they're going to have to block out under the defensive boards instead of trying to compete. They're going to have to block the Brisbane big guys away from the board so they'll then start to take control. I think Coach Ken Cole's got to have a good look at the 36ers offense, because when they shut down Darryl Pearce on his right-hand side, the 36ers just bog down and they just don't have that offensive movement that they need.
Well, Brisbane doing as they please as Dave Nelson scores again. Whilst nothing's going right for the 36ers and they're missing layups, everything's going right for Brisbane. Tap-in attempted by Ally. Pearce has the ball. No foul called. Ally again. 1 foul, 2 fouls. They finally called one. And I suppose it's not bad umpiring, Lynn. They're just letting it go because there's nothing really to achieve by starting calling a lot of fouls now.
If I was on the floor, I think the only criticism that I would have of the referees is that a lot of the calls that you would expect to be called aren't being called, and a lot of the calls that are being made, whilst they may be a foul, would not be called in normal circumstances. And certainly a lot of those hands fouls that are called, in my opinion, called at the wrong time, and we're just seeing that same rebounding situation there. A couple of fouls that happened that weren't called, and they're the ones that hurt, because they're the ones that just upset that shooting touch, and the 36ers would not normally miss as many shots under the basket.
I agree, Lynn. It's one of those things that sort of happens as the game develops, and if the refs don't watch it, it can get out of hand very quickly. But isn't it amazing that when a team gets a roll on, that they just carry it on?
There's Brian Curl just playing with Adelaide now. He's brought Tom Gerhardt on and John Dorge and Danny Morsu, guys who normally wouldn't get a lot of court time, but they have nothing to lose because they're going to win this game and win it so easily. As the 36ers take yet another rebound, but they're just not converting. They've been shooting very poorly. Ray Wood has a look and decides to come back out and set it up. The 36ers bench very quiet now. Jones turns around for the shot, makes one, but it's been a long time in between baskets in this last quarter, Gary.
Yeah, and I think that Ken Cole, as you said before, has got a lot of work to do before Sunday, because psychologically the advantage now rests with the Brisbane Bullets. They have shown the 36ers that they can mix it inside, and they've certainly showed it that they can outshoot. Daryl Pearce has just a fearsome reputation in Brisbane, and I think the 12,000 people who were watching the game at Boondall last week expected big things, and they probably thought, oh yeah, well that's that. Tonight he's come out and he's played a blinder of a game. However, the third and fourth quarter he's quietened down a little bit. But Cal Bruton, Lynn, what a game.
What a fantastic game. 38 points individually to Calvin Bruton, and I'm not really sure what happened then. I think with the shot clock ran down, but it's the 36ers running now into offense. There's only 2 minutes remaining. The score is 102-81, and this is the first time for the season that the 36ers haven't made 100 points, and that's a bit better movement as Daryl Pearce makes another assist. Raymond Wood hasn't given up. He's still pressuring the defence, but this man, Ronnie the Rat Radcliffe, had a lot of control. He's handed off a lot of baskets, and I'm very impressed with the way he plays the game.
Yes, well, this game is so similar to the final in Brisbane last year, where Daryl Pearce was the highest scorer for the 36ers.
And Daryl Pearce has been cut down with that movement to his right hand cut off. And as I said earlier, I really think that the 36ers have to look at that, because when Pearce goes to his left and doesn't get the shot away, then the whole offense bogs down a bit. But still, a good effort from Raymond Wood as another basket missed. And when you're bad, you're bad.
Is there the sort of baskets that Brisbane were missing last week, and it's cost them? Not tonight. Well, they've missed that one, but there was a travel called well before that. But there's no question that there's going to be a mad scramble for tickets here tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock when they go on sale for Sunday's game. Sunday's game will be at 2:15 here, and it should be a beauty. One would expect that the 36ers won't play like this again on Sunday, not when they know what's at stake. Brisbane just too classy an outfit tonight. Only 50 seconds left on the shot clock, and Brisbane lead 102-83.
And Danny Morsu, who took a couple of shots that perhaps he shouldn't have taken last week to give the 36ers a chance, on the floor now, hands off, and in goes Gerhardt all the way. But another great effort under the offensive boards, and Peter Aylai very frustrated there. A hands foul called, and underneath the basket is that man Don George. And haven't they done a great job under the offensive boards?
I think it's a completely different team. You'd wonder what happened to them during the week. I know at training in Brisbane, the word around town was that they trained just so fiercely. In fact, you'd sometimes wonder that they were actually teammates. It's been so fierce.
And John Dorge on the foul line. Brisbane shooting 71% from the foul line so far tonight.
John Dorge, been a quiet player for Brisbane, but an effective player. And they're going to take this game by a long shot as Nelson pulls off another rebound. 27 seconds to go, and every one of these fans I can see will be back here on Sunday. Ray Wood pulls off the rebound from the missed Daryl Pearce shot. Nice pass out to Peter Allo, but the shot is a mile off. Just the 36 is not the same as surety, as Morso should lay this up. Passes it back to Gerhard, and he just pops it in. And Brisbane just go further and further in front. Radcliffe makes another steal. 2 seconds to go. He is knocked to the ground by Pearce. And a pretty nasty foul there by Daryl Pearce, and it'll be 3 shots, but the game is all over apart from Radcliffe taking the foul shot. Brisbane have walked into the third and final playoff on Sunday with a 104 to 83 point victory. Lynn, we'll be back after the break with both coaches. The final score, the West End 36ers 83, well beaten by the Brisbane Bullets on 104.
That till we get to the closer. So in the closer.
Yeah.
103. Yeah, no, 104 to 83.
83, no worries, mate.
Yeah, that's on page 3 and the first page of the closer. Oh, well, there you go. Bit of a shock to the system. So, it comes up on us, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right. How long have we got before we're on?
Well, I'd say a minute 45.
Yeah.
Couple of minutes. About 1.5 to go, is it? Yeah, 1.5.
I'll say at the start of it, well, a shock result from Apollo Stadium. Then I'll go into the game began at a furious pace. It was like a continuation, blah, blah, blah. I might say, well, a shock result from Apollo Stadium with victory to Brisbane Bullets, yeah. Then I'll go into the game began at a furious pace. We go right down to blah, blah, blah. Things weren't looking too good. Bullets went into the last quarter leading by 14. The lack of discipline, 36 continued in the last term. Bullets picked off points at will. Their tight defence kept their Brisbane Bullets 104 to 83. 36ers 83, 21. Now let's get some comment from the coaches. I don't know who they talk to first, doesn't matter.
30 seconds. Fact.
We don't have any interviews lined up.
All right. All right. Leave out after third game. Go to closer. Okay. After we go to page 3.
Yeah.
After the words third game, go to the closer. Well, a shock result from Apollo Stadium with a victory, and a very convincing one at that, going to the Brisbane Bullets. The game began at a furious pace. It was like a continuation of last week's clash. But the Bullets had learnt a few lessons, and their strong defence kept plenty of pressure on the 36ers, who shot poorly from outside. The Black Pearl, Cal Bruton, was at his explosive best, and with Leroy Loggins always a danger, the 36ers were rattled. At the end of the first quarter, the Bullets led by 11 points, 31-20. Ken Cole put Daryl Pearce right into the action at the start of the second period, and he didn't let him down. Pearce immediately took control, and the 36ers pulled back to within 3 points. But the Bullets' inside defence held firm, shutting Jones and Davis out of the game. Their rebounding dominance of last week just wasn't there. But Pearce continued to be the playmaker, and a three-pointer saw the home team hit the front for the first time. The Brisbane Bullets have a reputation for being a third-quarter team, and they opened up a 13-point break late in the term. And with the 36ers in foul trouble, things weren't looking too good. The Bullets went into the last quarter leading by 14 points. The lack of discipline in the 36ers continued into the last term as the Bullets picked off points at will. Their tight defence kept the home team out of the game, and it was just a matter of how far. The final score, the Brisbane Bullets 104, the 36ers 83. And so we go to a third game. Well, now let's get some comments from the coaches.
Ken, an awesome display by Brisbane. Can the 36ers regroup and be ready for Sunday?
I thought we just played an appalling game.
What did go wrong out there?
We played a bad game. We haven't played a bad one here all year. We really haven't played a bad game all year. We played an appalling game tonight.
The players would obviously hurt a lot right now.
Well, they should. You know, they let themselves down, they let the crowd down, they let everybody down. We beat ourselves with a real lousy game.
Was it that we played so badly or Brisbane played so well?
I think we played lousy.
Well, Ken, all I can say is good luck on Sunday. It's 1-1 now, it's still anybody's go.
We're still in the same situation. You've got to win 2 for the championship. We can't play another one like that.
Good luck on Sunday. Coach of the Brisbane Bullets, Brian Curl, smiling man tonight.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but it's not over yet, Andrew, and there's still another game on Sunday, and that's what we're looking forward to now.
Well, you said after last week's game that the 36ers weren't invincible, but did you think you could beat them and really humiliate them like that?
I don't think we humiliate them. I never go out there to humiliate any team. We played basketball tonight the way it should be played, good, tough, strong defence, and we did a job on the boards. We made adjustments to our weaknesses last week, and that's what the game's all about. It's a fascinating game, and we made the necessary adjustments, and we've still got to make a couple more adjustments for Sunday.
Cal Bruton, not bad for a player who can come off the bench and play like that.
Well, that's what makes good teams, if you can get that lift from the bench, and Cal did a superb job there.
Brian, we've done 5,000 miles. We've had 2 games and we're back to where we started from on Sunday. Good luck, that's all I can say.
Yeah, well, like I said, Saturday night we had 2 games to win the championship, and now we've only got 1, and I think it's just great that, like I said today, 2 great teams playing off, and you know, we're enjoying it. It's not good for the coach's nerves, but when it's all over, we get ready for next year. So, you know, let's hope that Sunday's game is a very good spectacle. Well done, Brian. Thank you.
Well, there you go. After 2 games of great basketball, the West End 36ers and the Brisbane Bullets are tied 1-1 in the best-of-3 battle for the NBL Grand Final. The 36ers won in extra time in Brisbane last week, and although they were expected to win at Apollo tonight, the Bullets showed the true fighting qualities of defending champions. The final scoreline once again, Brisbane 104, the 36ers 83. So will the defensive strength of the Bullets win out, or will the offensive power of the 36ers reassert itself? Only time will tell. But the fans are already queued up for tickets outside Apollo Stadium for Sunday's sudden death final. Watch Channel 10 for broadcast times over the weekend. If it's half as good as the first 2 matches, we're really in for a treat. So that's the NBL Grand Final Series tied 1-1 with the last match still to come. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's coverage, but for now, good night from 10 Sport.